Venezuela has been trending on social media. Sarah Khairat is here with the latest online reaction. Hi, Sarah.
Yeah, there's been plenty of trending hashtags. And as one person summed it up on Twitter, the Venezuelan government is running state media with a lot of censorship happening, which means Venezuelans are relying on social media, of course, to find out what's actually happening on the ground. But people have been also posting pictures and videos as well of protesters being shot, and they're accusing the armed forces of being violent towards the protesters. Now, anti-government demonstrations on Wednesday took a turn for the worse when at least 7 protesters were reportedly killed, and some of those dead are said to have been students in their early 20s. And the hashtags Venezuela as well as we are Maduro, you can just see there, and Yankee Go Home, which is a very interesting one there. They've all been trending worldwide for the last 24 hours, with some Venezuelans saying that they're not happy with the United States interfering in their affairs. And this tweet here also gives you an idea of what they're saying, because they're showing you pictures before US intervention in other countries and after. You have Iraq there, Libya, Syria as an example, and then a big question mark on Venezuela at the bottom. But interestingly, the tweets using these hashtags aren't just coming from Maduro's supporters, because many say they don't support the president, but they object to any US meddling. And one of those is author Eva Gollinger, and she says that a coup sets a dangerous precedent for sovereignty. And she also adds the US only wants Venezuela's oil. And that's why some Venezuelans are warning the US to keep their hands off their oil. In fact, it's also worth noting that Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world, and right now it's largely dependent on the cash it generates from its oil exports. That's about 98% of export earnings. But the US refuses to recognize Maduro as the legitimate president, as we said earlier, and is considering expanding its sanctions on Venezuela. So you can imagine there's a lot of anger there amongst Venezuelans. But the 2016 US presidential nominee, Jill Stein, she also tweeted, the US has backed right-wing coups up and down Latin America for over 100 years. Not one was about democracy. And she asks, are we supposed to believe that this time in Venezuela it's any different? And some people have also criticized the opposition leader Juan Guaido for swearing himself in as president of Venezuela, and a few of them have also been joking that maybe they should just make themselves interim president of the US. This is Rania here, who says that because it seems so easy to do so. And in Venezuela, Christopher Gonzalez says he has a clear message, and that's to the US. He writes, Maduro is our president with many mistakes and difficulties, but it is our problem to deal with. Get in touch if you have any thoughts on that story, and the hashtag is AJ Newsgrid.
Yes, Sarah, thank you. And we're also